I'm Rosemary Guttormsson. Some of you may know me and some of you may not, but I've been painting in watercolors in all kinds of media since about 1989. Um, but I've always done art and I really like to draw. And I think making lines and marks is my favorite thing to do. And I learned line drawing or wire drawing as a technique to work on a painting or
Sorry.
from
Edward.
Karen Knudsen, who's out of the Twin Cities. She calls hers wire drawing. Mary Beth Downs here in Duluth, I think, calls it line drawing. I don't know. Everybody has a name for it. I was working with Karen at a workshop, and so I give her full credit for where I have gone. You kind of, it's like other techniques. You learn it and then make it your own. And so I steal from the best. And so this was my first piece. It was kind of
lovely.
It's I think 12 by 12. Anyway, this is an example of what you can do. There's all kinds of ways to incorporate this into a painting, and I'm going to show you three different ways. As you can see, that one, you can start with a plain white piece of paper, which is what we're going to do today. But you can also start with an existing painting. Maybe you have a little painting and you thought, oh, gee, I was really interested in that chicken, but now what am I going to do? So you can take this and, start working and move on and add more lines as you go along. Or you can, as somebody was asking, you can start from a painting, and I'll show you that on the share screen here. What I'm talking about there. Okay, so I had a painting that was not successful. It's in the first on the left. I tore it up into about 5 pieces. So then I drew some flowers. I'm not even sure what kind of flowers. And when I draw, I try to use a continuous line, but sometimes you have to cheat. So then I decided, okay, I'll start adding black where I don't like it. And it's a good way to get, you don't have to be very precise. I don't use pencil usually on these. I just go right to ink. And I like to use Faber-Castell, and I have made a collection of all kinds of tip sizes now. But you can see what I do. I think it's a great way to learn about composition, but it's not something you'll do in 24 hours. These are all progressive photos. And down in the lower right, you can see what I think I'm done with. Any questions about this process?
Yeah, I have a question. When you drew those flowers, did you use ink to draw them?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God, that's great.
I was looking at a photo reference, and like I said, this is loose. And if you make mistakes, it won't matter. Look at this is the first drawing, and look here. What am I doing? Where did that line come from? And then as I go along, it's still there. But look, it became a petal.
Yeah.
So this is a great way to deal with your mistakes. So I'll stop sharing on that one. And then people are also fun to draw. This is my son I drew him from a photograph, and I've just left it black and white. You may want to do that. I had another thing of somebody walking a bunch of dogs. I left that black and white. So sometimes you may want to leave it black and white. Or if you're drawing flowers like we're going to do today, I'll throw in some color after a while. So, any questions?
You use a ruler when you're drawing those lines, or are they all just freehand?
They're all freehand until I think I did, I did use them to line it up. So if I have a line over here to carry it through, then I do. But most of the time I just, and I think I did right here where this right angle is.
Okay.
So, this is, don't worry about it after, this is your first attempt, so it's not so tricky. Anyway, I gotta find my photo reference. I'm going to draw, shoot, where'd that book go? Oh, well, I'm just gonna, I was gonna show you a book I have of flower references, photo flower references.
Oh,
But
really?
I have some copies. And if you really don't feel you can draw it from a photo, you could also make a pencil sketch on another piece of paper. Okay?
Mhm.
So between those two things, now I hope this works. It's my first time, people, so.
Rosemary, I have a question from Marlene, and by the way, if you want to add a question, you could also use your chat option as Marlene did. Did
Okay.
you collage the loose floral onto the first paper? I think she's talking about step one in that example that you,
Yes.
I didn't understand I'll go read it.
Marlene, you want to speak?
Did you, yes, did you tear up the loose floral and paste it on another piece of paper before you drew it?
No,
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Mhm.
no, that I just drew it onto that painting.
Okay. All right.
It's on watercolor. The painting was on water. Talking about this one.
Yes.
Yeah, this is just watercolor paper, and I cut up the painting and
Oh, okay.
just went. I don't even know what these fall. They're kind of asters, I guess.
Okay. All
How
right.
did you glue it together, or how did you put the torn up pieces on that?
I didn't.
Yeah.
This is just.
it-
I'll show you again. Hold on.
Mhm. Yeah, I misunderstood when you said you tore it, so I didn't
Oh,
understand.
I tore the 22 by 30 up.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, so here is an 8-inch square that I started with.
Okay.
It is
And it's
part
an
of a
old
20
painting.
It's part of a half sheet painting that didn't go anywhere.
Mhm.
Okay, is that clear? And then
Yes.
I drew on it. So there's no collage, it looks
Okay.
collage, but it's just paper.
But when you say tore up, you didn't really tear anything.
Well, rip, cut, is that?
So you just
But
cut out a
this-
corner
this
of
is
it.
One
Yeah, I
solid.
cut out an 8-by-8 corner.
Okay,
All right,
Her original painting, which was one of her dogs.
got it.
dog. Now, everybody know what an old dog is.
Yes.
Not a painting, there's a story. There's a story here. Many years ago, Carolyn did a workshop. One of her first workshops was in Duluth. And she said, bring your old dog paintings. And somebody brought paintings of old dogs. Really painted for the class.
Oh, no.
That's hilarious.
Another question, Doreen wondered, she says you use Farber pens, but what size do you use most frequently?
Fine
Paper, sorry. Yeah,
and 1.5
Bigger ones.
and SC, I don't know what SC stands for. And my favorite, B, or 199.
Wow.
That's a broad stroke. I mean, when you're starting out, use whatever you've got. I mean, I didn't have these pens when I did Odin, and
Mhm.
I use Sharpies, which give me a headache.
Mhm.
Lock the door.
So I accumulated my supplies
Oh, it is?
over
Okay, thank you.
the last 4 years. I have a son that lives in Brooklyn, and I found this wonderful art supply store there. And I didn't know you could buy these markers in so many tip sizes. It was like a candy store.
Mhm.
And then, of course, I don't buy just one. I find that Faber-Castell lasts pretty long unless you leave the lid off, the cap off. I've been using these, well, I think I might have ordered some back in March. So I always have several sizes, and I use black. You know, I get a lot of fine tip. So the 1.5 is kind of fun to use. The whole point is you want to make different size lines. I think I've talked about lines. And if you're using line, you should vary the width of your line. And so, anyway, now,
Rosemary, this is Linda. I have a question for you.
yes,
I mainly have the micro pens, which I'm realizing are very fine tipped. And I'm sure they're usable, but will not make a large line. Now,
like this one.
Yep.
Mhm.
Me too.
yeah,
That's
I mean,
fine.
because,
That's fine for doing your initial drawing.
okay.
And you
What
know,
about the elegant writer? That won't work because if it gets wet, it smooths all over.
yeah, don't use elegant writer unless you want, you know, it'll bleed if you're going to leave it black and white, that's okay, I suppose. But yeah, you can do your drawing. I usually do my drawing with the fine.
Okay,
What else have I got? I have Statler. Like I said, you could even go in your junk drawer and see if you've got a Sharpie.
yeah, I mean, I have Sharpies, but I agree, the smell is overpowering.
I didn't want you all to run out. Geez,
Yeah,
I didn't want you all to run out and buy new supplies.
Yeah. and I have used the micro ones on a few of my paintings, but they're not quite done the way that you've done them. That's kind of a similar principle.
Yeah.
But
They're
a wider tip would be nice.
yeah. Just another tool in your toolbox.
Yes.
Have you ever used the Pantone markers?
Pantone.
They're graphic markers in different colors as well as black, and they were used to make mock-ups or whatever. They're
Oh.
oil-based.
Yeah,
pretty
they're
smelly
oil.
also. Yeah, they're
Can you paint over them?
you can paint over them.
Well, then try it. Why not? I just personally have not used them.
Okay.
There's Optic too. They're kind of pricey.
Yeah.
I bought a whole set of those for my granddaughter for Christmas. I think I spent close to $75 in pens
Mm,
of various colors, but she's getting into doing anime, that
mhm.
Japanese.
Okay.
So I bought her paper and pens for Christmas.
Nice.
So, all right. Well, we should probably get started here. I don't want to take up the whole time.
I'm gonna go get it.
Last question. Can you, Karen, do you want to just pin my drawing surface instead of me?
yep.
They might get a better view.
Stop spotlight.
There we go.
Yep.
You know,
and
I
it's bigger.
think that you can go up in the corner or somewhere, right click on your own image and control some of those things, but I'm happy to do them for you.
Okay, since it's my first time, I appreciate it.
Mhm.
Do you think we would be able to see better if it's turned the other direction?
I can't do that with Osmo.
Ah, got it.
See, I have Osmo is a mirror that covers the photo aperture on an iPad. Am I explaining this right, Sarah?
Yes. Mhm.
And that is at the small end of the iPad. Now, if this, maybe next time I could try it on my cell phone, and I have a holder for my cell phone, and then it might even be better. But I was going to go with this for the first time.
Sure.
And of course, there's a little distortion too.
Mhm. That's the advantage of using Osmo Projector app. It gets rid of the distortion and it makes it bigger.
Yeah.
That's okay. This is good.
Here you go.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to do some drawing here. I've got my picture of my pansies, and I like to do a continuous line. And so I start out from a corner,
Hmm.
and I just draw. And maybe I'll make a little border. And then I'm going to come down and go start a flower. And so I am just looking at my picture here and kind of doing a blind contour drawing of this flower. I am looking, it's not a true contour drawing because I am looking down at my paper so I don't take up the whole piece of paper with one flower, which I might be doing here anyway. So can you see how I'm
Yep.
continually
Yep.
trying? This is a little big, but I think we can make it work. All right. And now these are the big poppies, the kind that grow like in early June. And actually, this photo is from Linda Naughton's garden. She used to do all kinds of, when she was still painting.
Mhm.
We got to get her painting again.
Mhm.
Anyway, so you see how I created a flower and a line, some those very distinctive petals that poppies have, kind of hairy.
Mhm.
So now I'm keeping my pen on the paper, and I'm going to go up here, maybe zigzag up here, and then start forming another petal. And another flower is going to appear, I hope. This is the fun part. You really don't know what you get until you get there. And I'm still, as you notice, I'm not cheating. I'm leaving, my pen down on the paper. And I'm going over here. What's nice about poppies is, you have all these flutter edges. I don't know how I'm going to say that. Fluttery.
Well, fluted.
Muted. You got to watch me. I took my pen off. Let me need a bud. And they have huge buds. So we got a bud back here. And I've got 2 poppies. Oh dear. All right, I'm going to put another bud here. And come back down. And maybe here, he needs a stem. And maybe we'll go over here now. And I'm going to have 3 poppies because I like odd numbers. And trying to decide which one to do. Okay. Another poppy shape. It's just draw the shape. Don't, you're drawing shapes. And the flowers are just, think of the flowers as connected shapes. Okay. 1, 2, 3, and they're kind of different sizes, right? And I cheated. I took my pen off the paper. So now I guess you're at the point where you could draw some more leaves on these poppies. I like to leave some quiet spaces. I kind of like what's going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I'm going to just kind of embellish. I mean, if you make a mistake here, you can correct it with the black. You might just blacken that whole area and say, oh, I don't like that area, so that's going to be dark. And you're going to be working eventually light against dark. And so it doesn't matter so much. How's everybody doing?
Good. Are we supposed to be drawing already?
If you want to.
Okay.
You can either do that or just watch me too. I don't care. You could just watch me today and draw tonight.
Homework.
I'd like to do that. And, you can, poppies are usually leaning, going different ways. Let's see, I might finish that off. Okay, I think I need some more leaves in here.
Rosemary, are you supposed to normally find your way up to a different spot by not taking your pen off?
If you can, but there are no hard and fast rules. You can use your, you can cheat.
Okay. Okay.
I just like starting out and doing this continuous line, which kind of gives me a frame to work within. And it's a habit. I also realized today that I usually do square. I can't remember if I've done any that aren't square.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Kind of interesting.
Rosemary, if you're starting with an existing picture that, an old dog, then are you trying to have some of the colors in it, the colors of the flowers or whatever that you're drawing? And are you trying to then put those flowers over those colors, or I can't recall from your picture how you did that.
Yeah, this
Okay.
one, I kind of picked out what areas I liked. I didn't like what was over here. And I didn't like what was right in the middle, I think.
Okay.
So there were some good, colorful, this painting is, I think, from 1998. And so it's a little hard to scrub the watercolor off. So you kind of have to work, if it's that old, you have to work with what you got. So in this case, I just drew flowers and then, tried to make them different sizes. And some of them I added color to, and some of them were on a pink purple area. You know, I adjusted color when I was all done.
Thank you.
And I enhanced the greens when I was all done.
Okay, thanks.
So I could leave this one for a while and show you, well, do you want me to do more on this one before we quit, or?
Well, yeah, what you would normally do.
Oh, you know, said I gotta start and stop a couple times.
Oh, that's
Trying to, you know, get the essence of poppies, and looking at my photo references, I see all kinds of. Now, Sarah, do you know what kind of poppies were we painting down on Park Point? Betty's were not, I would call these Icelandic poppies that I'm doing, the big ones.
yeah.
And I would call those little ones down there California poppies.
Oh, that could be. Yep.
Yeah, those were the finer ones. These are heavy. So they are going to have more foliage. They're heavy, so their stems will be kind of wonky, and you know, I might put some more buds in here, but right now I might put, this is kind of a weird place here. I know. I can put another shape in here. So, okay. And so this is where I would maybe let it sit for a while.
Okay.
About it. And these have these little collars on the buds too. It's kind of fun. So I got three flowers and 2 buds. So I have 5 things. So I might add more, but right now I'm kind of happy with it. So say you have this bird. Now I drew some preliminary lines in here, and I let it sit. So now I'm going to start adding more lines and switching pens, and thinking maybe what's going to happen next. Obviously there's black in here, so you don't want to put black next to black or you're going to lose your bird. So I might, this is
You got a very black bird though.
yeah, I might just do some thicker lines like this back here. And it doesn't have to be anything.
Huh.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
Yep.
And okay, black. But there's nothing over here. I might decide to do a whole space of black. And balance it off up here. I'm doing this and not have any idea what I'm doing. Don't panic. So, you know, you just kind of think, well, where could I put some black, you know? Maybe we want to do some middle-sized lines. Keeping track of all my pens. We've got a lot of lines going through here, fine lines. We got fine lines on the bird. And now we're doing fine lines on maybe whatever this branch or tree. And as you see, they don't have to be straight.
Okay.
And then, oh, you know what we need? We need some horizontal lines. So maybe there's a fence or something back there. I don't know. So there you got, oops, you're down here. I'm sorry. So this is the kind of thing you start working into. And it's just a feeling and you'll make lots of mistakes. You know, this is a kind of a work in a design process. So maybe you'll want to go up here. Put some lines. Or, you know, you look at that and think, well, maybe it needs to be all solid. This is why it's helpful to have different size markers. Doo-doo-doo. So it's kind of fun to play with it. And then, you know, when you get so far, you don't know what to do, you let it sit.
Yeah.
You look already.
So now we got the chicken, but I already outlined him in ink. And I gotta make him look like he's having more fun than just standing in the middle of a page, you know? I mean, this is a Hawaiian chicken, so he's gotta have something funky going on, right? And here I'm gonna do, like, I'm gonna go do. Come back here. And maybe do some out here. And come back. So again, you wanna not, when you're going in with your black lines, you wouldn't wanna put black here by the tail feathers. You might want to leave that white. You could do, where's my pen here? I always end up with 4 or 5 pens in my hand. So maybe this is some kind of fence or design. And I would start out, not everything works out. So, you know, don't start out thinking you're going to create a wonderful masterpiece right away.
Okay.
That's to make you feel good when you screw up. Okay, so he's kind of dark down here, but maybe I want to put something here to kind of show off his. I don't know, would that be too much drama?
Oh,
I don't know, I have a temptation to put his head in black, but I'm not sure I'm ready to do that. So I'm just gonna put a line there. So, oh, I know, he's Hawaiian. He should have some wild, like philodendron leaves, shouldn't he? Ah, here we go.
Rosemary, could you slide it a little bit to the right? There you
sorry.
go.
How's that look?
yeah, that's really adding some interest.
So now we're adding some interest.
Nice.
A cool, I'm trying to think what else. Oh, they were all over the place in Maui. My grandkids counted over 200 chickens on one day.
Oh.
So later you could maybe put some texture in here. I'm doing it sooner than later. You know, he's out strutting his stuff. We could
What a difference that makes. And you
Yeah, huge.
see how taking
played.
that lonely chicken
Yeah.
and adding stuff. And when you get to the next step, when you're adding bigger blocks of black, I can start going in. I could start at any time going in with color. If you really wanted to, you could put green in here now. But
You mean watercolor or pencil color?
watercolor. This guy, I only put some brown and gray wash in him.
Mm-hmm.
But you see on some of my other flowers, I use like poppies. I'm going to put some bright red into this.
That's gorgeous. Ugh, it's already pretty.
It's probably a half an hour. So shall I quit for today?
Mm-mm.
No, it's fun to watch.
Yeah. But we are going to do it next month too, right?
We can do it next month. I want you all to, like I said, this is not a process where you can sit down and do a whole little painting in an hour. You could do the drawing and then you go do something else and then you come back or do another drawing. So you could have like 5 or 6 drawings and then come in and work a little, putting in black in this one, you know.
I can't believe what a difference that made. He just wasn't real dynamic before. And now he's getting really dynamic.
Because there's so many, this one's hard. This chickadee is hard.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so many lines in the chickadee. I don't want to make it any more confusing. So this one requires a little more thought. So I'm not going to play with him. But this chicken should be fun.
Yes.
I don't know. I'll do something bold. I may regret this. Okay, what the heck? I can draw chicken again. This is where the big marker comes in.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
This is where it's fun.
Wow.
Behold.
Cool.
Those of us who start with a value study are having an anxiety attack.
I know.
There really isn't value here. This is about composition.
It's a cool way to learn composition. I can just, just from watching you, yeah.
I'm addicted to it. That's the problem. So you can, and so as you can get out a different size pen now, and you can do the small work. And I've done so many of these. I mount them on a wood block, and they're very popular. I've sold all the florals that I did this summer.
Wow,
So,
look at that. Huh,
so that was a bold stroke.
yes,
But I think I like it.
That's cool.
yeah.
So I'll probably do something else down here to balance that out. But it's 1:45, so I think I should quit for today.
Man.
Hey, nice job.
Very nice, very nice.
So your homework assignment is to do a drawing, and I won't be judgmental if you do a pencil drawing and then do ink on top of it if that makes you feel better. But don't do, my thing is, don't do a detailed drawing. Do a simple shape, do the essence of the flower. Don't worry that there's not 5 petals or how many petals. Just feel
Okay.
the shapes of the flowers.
Mhm.
Then you can start going in with some more lines,
Okay.
If you don't, you could also use black paint if you want to. I suppose you could do that, but just vary. The secret is, like my first one of Odin, I didn't have the pens I have now, and so I don't, the lines are, I see like 2 widths of lines practically. So, now that I'm more experienced, I have horizontal, vertical, skinny, narrow, whatever. But doing a face is fun, I just left this one of my son.
That's neat.
I love it.
I like it.
Mhm.
He was
Mhm.
driving with me to Florida, and we stopped at a Crate and Barrel. And he's a cook, and he's never been to a Crate and Barrel. So he's eyeing the other customers suspiciously and what they're eating. But you can see that this is a pretty much continuous drawing. Because,
Wow.
Mhm.
and then then you can go in and correct, there was a curtain valance back here, and a window and paneling, and he wasn't wearing a striped shirt, but it gave framed his face. So I'm just leaving that little one as is.
Yes. You need to mount that one on a block.
I know I keep using all my mounts blocks so I can mount other things and stuff. I'll show people what I mean by that too, if they have questions.
Okay.
Okay. Do not pick. Why don't you give me the big view now?
Oh, big view.
Okay, here, I can.
I think you have to stop sharing.
Oh, stop share. Okay.
Right?
You spotlighted Turkey.
Oh God, how do I do that?
Here.
There you go.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to. All right. There. All right. By mounting on a block, I mean you put it on a wood block, paint the edges, glue it on. Now,
Gorgeous.
this is an example of what not to do.
Oh,
Why?
Lilacs do not work well.
Huh, I like that.
They're very dainty little flowers. Don't start out with lilacs. Go for something big. But
Okay.
these are artist panels, ampersand, other varieties that you can get at Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Dick Blick, wherever you, and then you just glue your thing right on there. No frame. And then this is a whole nother thing. I usually, if there's paint on it, if there's watercolor on, I spray it with a fixative. And I usually do those in batches in warm weather out on my patio. And then I take Dorland's wax and wax.
So like a spray mount, you're saying?
No, I glue them with Yes paste usually.
Okay.
Weight them. And then after they're dry, then I spray them first before I mount them. Sorry. I spray them. I use, what is that called?
Krylon?
Yes, Krylon. Crayon fixative.
Fixative spray, yeah.
Yeah, to fix the paint. And so then you can wax over it and they're pretty much waterproof unless you drop it in your sink. So, okay, I'm shutting up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm
That's-
That was great.
going to turn off my iPad.
All right, and I'm heading back upstairs so my little pooch isn't alone.
Winslow.
So I will.
That was great. I speak for everyone. I think we all could have sat here for 2 hours easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah, well, if you want to email me questions over the month, you can do it.
Okay. Oh, you know what would be fun, Rosemary, is your birdhouse back behind you. That wooden sculpture thingy would be a perfect little line drawing.
Yeah, you could do. I could do that.
It's not really a birdhouse either. I don't know exactly.
Years ago in the gallery, we had some guy from down by Cloquet. I don't know who did it.
Okay.
So I bought it. House on a rock.
Yeah, little fairy house.
On a rock. Cute.
Rosemary, this is Linda. I want to thank you. And now I'm excited to look through all my paintings that I've set aside in case something inspires me. And you have inspired me. So I'm going to pull out of them.
I have years of.
I know. Yeah, no, I mean, I found a piece that I had done. It's actually on Yupo. I don't know how it's going to work, but I think it'll work.
Well,
I suppose I spray it first.
Done this on that Terra Skin. I've never done it on Yupo, but you should try
Okay.
it.
Do you think
Terra Skin?
Do you think I could spray it first and the ink would go on okay? Oh, I'll just work with it. That's the whole fun of it, is experimenting.
Yeah, but I haven't used ink on Yupo because I'm not fond of Yupo.
Okay, well, you know I'm fond
But
of you,
you
so
are.
I'll try it.
Try it. Well, take a scrap. Take a scrap.
I have I don't think my camera's on, but I got one where it was left over and I just added all this texture to it. It's very muted. It's all painted,
Mhm.
but something ink over it would go really well.
Yeah, try ink over it. And then how do you usually fix your Yupo?
I put a fixative on it.
I think you could draw right on the Yupo without doing the fix.
Yeah, I think I could. I'm just going to have to be sure not to get it wet. And even if it does, it'll just add interest. So, but
Yeah.
Thank you. I thought that looks like it was very relaxing to watch you. And
Well, it's kind of relaxing. If I didn't have a dozen people watching me, it would
well, I understand that, but I know that I started working with walnut ink yesterday, and I found that really exciting and relaxing.
Where did you get it?
I got the Tom Norton's walnut ink because it is acid free. It does not contain the oil, so you don't have to worry about the vapors. I got it at Cheap Joe's and it's in a bottle and it was like $7.99. But I was able to get the different shades and it was, you know, I did two things, and what I was doing was kind of similar to what you were doing. I mean, when you work with, you're just only working with 3 or 4 colors, and it's all the same ink, but it's different degrees of intensity.
Okay.
So, and I did the contour drawing just like you did, and you know, I really enjoyed it. And you're, you know, obviously you found that's the way to go with what you were doing. So that's great. But I've been enjoying it, and I'll probably post it, and I'll post where I got it and all that kind of stuff for people
Okay.
if they want to try it.
Excellent. Ah, we want to see that.
Okay.
Okay. Karen, do you think you're going to want to stop the recording at this point?
Yes.
Otherwise, I just, yeah.
Stop. I think I stopped. Stop recording. Stop.